want to judge the health of any given market, it's always worth looking at the transports, as they're the best barometer of the overall state of commerce. Which brings me to XPO Logistics, the global provider of transportation and logistics services, with a stock that has been totally on fire of late, up over 40% year-to-date. Get this, up 86% over the past 12 months. What's driving the strength? XPO has a lot of exposure to some of the fastest-growing parts of the industry, like less-than-truckload shipping, meaning small freight, and last-mile services, meaning getting packages right to your door. Plus, the company benefits enormously from the explosion in e-commerce. Now, when XPO last reported a little more than a month ago, the company delivered a solid quarter. Perhaps more important, management said they are ready to start making acquisitions again after several years of inactivity. So, can the stock keep climbing? Let's check with Bradley Jacobs. He's the chairman and CEO of XPO Logistics. Find out more about how his company is doing, where it's headed. Mr. Jacobs, welcome back to Mad Money. Good to see you, Brad. Have a seat. Now, I think people have to understand when some companies do acquisitions, and people say, oh, I don't know. But we all cheered when you said it because we knew that you had digested the last ones and that when you do acquisitions, they are accretive and fabulous.
Yeah, so we didn't do acquisitions for 2 years.
Right.
And we were completely inwards, just focusing on integrating and optimizing. And the integration is largely behind us now. And now we're ready to go back. We're well capitalized. We have the management bandwidth. We're going to go out and do some accretive M&A.
And I think that if you can explain to our viewers the scale that you can now bring to the situation and how vital scale is for your business.
So we have about $1 billion of liquidity on the balance sheet right now, and we have the ability to leverage up a little bit and buy something as much as $7 or $8 billion in purchase price without raising any more equity. Now, we may not buy something that much, but we could. The reason we want to do M&A is because of what you just said. It's accretive to our EPS.
Now, I think that I gave some talk at the beginning about the business that is very important to me, less than truckload and obviously e-commerce. But you spend $425 million a year on technology, which is about logistics, about getting it right. Why do you need to spend that much money?
Oh, we have 1,600 full-time IT professionals on staff, including over 100 big data scientists. This is our secret sauce.
Okay.
This is our ability to do predictive analytics. This is our ability to do predictive pricing. This is our ability to do load optimization, to route optimization. This is our ability to share information quickly and efficiently. This is how we get things done quickly.
Okay, can it handle Hurricane Harvey? Can it handle...
That's a little much. We can't handle hurricanes yet. Actually, the hurricanes were obviously a very sad thing. It affected hundreds of our employees, both in Texas and in Florida, and now in Georgia as well. So it slowed us down a little bit. We made a fund internally. We raised about $400,000 just from our own employees and company matches. It was really great. But now the transportation industry, from an economic perspective, will benefit from that because there'll be a big cleanup.
Right. That's what I wanted to ask you about, because your chief strategy officer used a phrase, and I'm so glad he used it because so many people are so tepid. Said, look, there is an industrial-led economy. Now, no one's ever willing to say that, but you've always been up front when business is good and when business is bad. What does an industrial-led economy mean for this country?
So when you went out to Peoria, or you went out to Moline, you went out to it was terrible for a couple of years.
It really was.
Oh, it was really, people were like moping, and they wouldn't even look. I mean, it was like someone died. Now it's a totally different story. There's a big skip. They are having same-store growth. Their sales are growing. Industrial economy is back. There's no question about that. And our biggest beneficiary of that is our less than truckload business, where we're number 2 after FedEx.
Now, let's talk about the last mile. People know, I mean, Sears made a deal with Amazon to deliver appliances, but everyone's, a lot of the big guys are delivering appliances. To get it to the last mile, they need you.
Well, we're the largest player in last mile logistics for heavy goods.
For heavy goods,
so anything over 150 pounds. So we're the leader in last mile logistics for washing machines, for dishwashers, for refrigerators, for home exercise equipment, for furniture, and we do 35,000 thresholds a day that we cross, and it's over 13 million deliveries a year.
Okay, now, Italy, Spain, these are countries that we thought were dead too, and there's business going on there.
Business is definitely coming back in Europe, particularly since the elections earlier this year. And by the way, in last mile in Europe, they're way behind us.
I know. You can't get anything delivered to your house. It's incredible. You just got to go there and set this thing up.
You order something, and they'll say, we'll get it there between like Wednesday and Friday.
And these are major companies that can't get it to you.
Oh, it's a big opportunity
Fantastic.
for us to transplant that, but it's really the Stone Ages.
Okay, let me ask you about driverless trucks. I keep thinking, I don't know if I want a gigantic truck. I look over and there's no one driving it. I mean, aren't we far from it?
We're really not. It'll be in No, we're absolutely not. We'll be in stages. We'll start off with platooning. We'll have one truck that's got a driver, and then 2 trucks following that, with drivers not doing very much. And then over time, you won't have drivers in the second and third one. This has fuel savings. This also decreases the overhead cost. And then eventually, you won't even have a driver in the front. So that's where it's going. And within 10 years maximum, there'll be fully autonomous trucks on the highway.
No,
that'll be the norm.
Now, we right now have a driver shortage. By that point, we'll have a driver excess?
Drivers will be retooled. There won't be. That's a job 10 years from now that has to be repurposed.
But right now, it is tight, right? I mean, you've got so much demand for drivers.
Very tight to find a driver right now. Sometimes up to 6 months to find a driver.
Okay, so I want to go back to e-commerce. There's just so much talk about it and how big it really is.
Because of the growth.
Yeah, but I need you to tell me. I mean, we keep thinking that it's got to plateau, but that's not right at all, is it?
Someday it'll plateau, but it's not plateauing right now. I mean, some of our e-commerce customers are our fastest growing customers.
They are, okay.
No question about that. Whether it's in Europe, where we're the largest e-fulfillment platform, whether it's here, where we're doing we grew 45% in the most recent quarter in our omni-channel distribution, whether it's in our last mile. People used to not buy heavy goods online.
Right.
Now people do.
Now, one thing has changed even since the time I know you. I now see XPO Logistics trucks everywhere. That's the old Conway?
Yes.
And that's a good business to have those hard assets. I like the light assets business.
Well, some of the businesses are better to be asset light because you have more free cash flow and you don't need the assets. So in our truck brokerage business, we don't own the trucks for that. We have many outsourced providers for that. But for LTL and intermodal, those two, less than truckload and intermodal, which is going rail,
businesses.
You need the asset. The big shippers will not give you a lot of freight unless you have some assets.
Well, I just wish you, as I said this morning, added to the transportation index because you have a better handle on the economy, and that's why we like the transports. And your thing is your company is on fire. I mean, it really is great. You stuck with us the whole way, and you've been dead right. Brad Jacobs, the chairman CEO of XPO Logistics. XPO, you want an acquisition here because then the stock probably goes up about 35%. Mad Money's back after the break. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.